Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Chaos TV's presentation of the Weplay LOL Invitationals. We are here in the semi-finals with SK Gaming taking on TheRED in a best-of-5 series. TheRED have actually had a pretty strong showing. They made it all the way here to the semis, and now they face up against what I guess you can consider to be their strongest opposition yet in SK Gaming.
Yeah, SK are running with their new lineup. Don't be deceived by the fact there is somebody called The Destroyer on their team. That is, in fact, Svenskar, and we have checked that up, and it's a Smurf account. I don't know exactly why. Maybe he's in trouble with the Tribunal. Maybe he just wants access to certain characters he doesn't have on his main. Regardless, though, I know we have got some bans coming out. Evelyn, Elise, Olaf, Kassadin, and Dr. Mundo on my screen.
Yeah, and you can expect... excuse me, to see a lot of Evelyn bans versus Svenskar. There's not that many people that played Evelyn back in Season 3, especially towards the end of the season. But here in Season 4, man, with the vision changes, Evelyn just gets wherever she wants to. Very, very difficult to scout her out, as she can kind of see pink wards coming, and that makes it pretty easy to just kill them and then walk wherever you want to. So no Evelyn's Olaf ban, interesting as well. So 3 jungle bans there from TheRED straight towards Svenskar. Whereas if you look at SK Gaming, they're much more diverse in their bans with a lot of top, and then of course the Kassadin ban there as well.
Yeah, but it does leave open the classic Lucian pick, which I think if you were watching the LCS promo qualifier tournament, which I was casting with Joe Miller, it was just Lucian all day for an AD carry. But an interesting fact is that very few people actually banned him. No one ever banned him, and I think they always just tried to make sure that they were the ones getting a hold of Lucian, because he's a really, really strong all-around AD carry at the moment. Lane bully that transitions to be very, very strong indeed. Now we are on the live servers, ladies and gentlemen, so there is a possibility of placeholder picks in this. Teemo is currently being hovered over. I'm just going to leave it at that.
He does that like almost every game he plays. He's a big fan of the Teemo, so we'll have to see if he locks it in. Probably won't, but at the same time, I just got done casting NACL Super Week yesterday, and the strangest things in the entire world happened that day, so I am not barring anything out. Should see it change. So the interesting thing, like you mentioned earlier, was the Lucian pick. That almost demands that SK pick away the Annie, which they have done, because Annie Lucian, just one of the strongest bottom lanes you can get right now.
Yeah, again, something we did see some of the promotional tournament teams running to try and counteract Annie was actually Zyra. Makes life quite difficult for Annie if she has to run in to use her stun, walking into that root range, walking into the Stranglethorns, and because it's a delayed knock-up with Stranglethorns, you can use it preemptively when Annie is casting her burst, and disrupt them in the middle of the combo to keep yourself alive post level 6. You also end up with a similarly scaling support, so it can actually work out if you do choose to do that, but it's a very risky play, because obviously if Annie gets even 1 or 2 kills for her AD carry, and especially if that AD carry is Lucian, you're just going to be in a really big world of hurt, and constant bursting downs, if that's a verb, is kind of what you can expect after that point.
A lot of teams are actually starting to pick up TheRED in place of Annie. You lose the 625 range auto attacks, but you do pick up the same target stun, and TheRED actually does a lot of damage with his new passive that gives you like a mini sheen effect. So it does not look like we're going to see that. I have seen more Fiddlesticks jungle recently, but should just see that as the support pick in the bottom lane along with Lucian, as well as TheRED locking in their jungle pick in that Vise. So now we have to see what Freddy wants to play top lane. He doesn't know what top laner he's going up against, and when you go second, that means you get the chance to counterpick your last big champion, whether it's mid, whether it's top lane. But we still have yet to see exactly what the bottom lane is going to run. It looks like, oh, there it is. It's the Caitlyn and Annie locked in to go up against Lucian Fiddlesticks for TheRED.
Yeah, nothing too surprising there, although I would actually argue that maybe TheRED would have been a better pick than Fiddlesticks. You did mention it there, but with Fiddlesticks, they will be able to prevent themselves being forced back into what I like to refer to as the Caitlyn trap, where you're pushed up against your tower, never really able to push out and never really able to go aggressive, go all in and trade, because you're always fighting against the minions. And you can't sustain yourself as well, because obviously the minions are losing a lot of their health to the tower. So if you have a strong pushing support early like Dark Wind Fiddlesticks, you can do pretty well out of that situation. Just start pushing her back. Make sure that she isn't able to get you pressed up against your tower like that. Now, we do also have the full mid lane pickup there from They Will Pay. Orianna, not so easy to counter out, but there are quite a few powerful picks at the moment available. I would not be surprised right now to see SK go for the Gragas. That's been very, very popular recently, but, well, on my screen, which is the stream, so it's a little bit behind, they're hovering at the moment over Nidalee, and that would be a very, very strong choice.
Now, the interesting thing for me is that Jinx and Sivir are both available as AD carries. Neither one of them picked up there. Lucian, you can kind of see that one coming, but interesting to see Candy Panda actually lock in the Caitlyn. I've kind of seen Caitlyn fall off a little bit with the rise of Sivir, Jinx, and Lucian, all as very, very strong AD carries. But going for that Caitlyn could mean that we're looking for an early 2v1, maybe some early turret pushing for SK. We'll have to see how they do want to play that one. They do finish out their lineup. It will be Hipster Just Sees on his Nidalee. Now, if you guys watched OGN last night, you know that sometimes Nidalee, good picks, sometimes not. And it's kind of the burden on Nidalee to land those spears, to actually do something, because if you just sit around, probably not going to be the biggest effect. And especially going up against They Will Pay, who just locked in Orianna, there's going to be a lot of team fight focus here from the Red. It'll be interesting to see whether or not Orianna spears can maybe make the Red a little bit less eager to team fight, especially since there's actually a lot of counter engaged here on SK.
Yeah, indeed. It does look like they're running a very poke and sieging-orientated composition here. But regardless, guys, we are going to be going into a quick commercial break while we wait for the 3-minute delay timer to tick down. So while that's going on, do feel free to follow us on various social media, which you can find in chat. We will just be going to a quick break. See you after this. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are underway. This is TheRED versus SK Gaming in a best of 5 for the Weplay Invitational semi-finals now. I am Spuddington, joined by Rapid, and we did have a bit of a pause timer there, but seems like we're done now with spamming barcodes in chat.
This is why we keep chat off before we get to these tournaments. But going into the level 1s, it's nice to see SK Gaming playing again so close to promotionals. They, I don't know if the super hot crew is out there, but it's going to be nice to see. Give ourselves a little bit of an idea as fans, as casters, as players as well. What SK have in store? They're a little bit of a new roster, so it's nice to see them still developing their synergy, looking extremely strong, at least over the course of this Weplay Invitational, and here in the semifinals, going up against TheRED, one of the stronger teams from the CIS region, but really haven't seen them play too many international teams just yet, so seeing them now here. Okay, finally a spear lands. Jacees is just throwing out spears one right after another, and just kind of like dodge the spears in the mid lane for they will pay.
What else am I going to do with this mana anyway? But there is, if you want to do a kind of a bit of a long-winded kind of power comparison, quote unquote, although for the reference, keep an eye on Nif, because if he walks too close to that brush, things might go terribly wrong for him. Oh, in fact, he may be going in.
Okay, Crow.
Okay, right. So, long-winded power comparison if you want to do that, although it's never entirely valid to do this kind of thing. SK Gaming will be going up against Super Hot Crew, as we mentioned. Super Hot Crew were playing against Caronte in the promotional qualifiers, and TheRED have actually beaten Caronte to get here in this part of the tournament. So you can at least guess that they are on the same kind of level as some of the other qualified teams. Exactly where they would fall, not too easy to say, but right now they're certainly looking pretty strong.
Now, TheRED come from the CIS region, and that's, you know, when you're in a region that's kind of dominated by the Moscow 5, now Gambit Gaming powerhouse for the longest time, or even White Lotus from way back in the day, it's nice to see more CIS teams come out there, but they have a very, I don't know, very consistent play style. They'll farm for about 5 to 10 minutes and then go for some crazy aggression, try to take a team fight and then a global objective off of that, and then they'll just go right back to farming. And so it's very cyclical for most of them. We'll have to see if they change things up here against SK, who are anything but. These guys, it's very hard to predict what they do on a game-to-game basis, because even though they are a new roster, they still have a lot of interesting synergies left to be figured out, and that's one of the things that I'm looking forward to seeing them play here today versus TheRED.
Yeah, and I'd actually like to just note that at the moment there's going to be quite a big focus on this top lane. Shen versus Renekton is a very swingy kind of matchup, and the Destroyer is going to be finding Demalco.
Oh, there's going to be level 2 hit first for Candy Panda and Nif. Chunk and Demonko down to below half hit points. Nixar very low as well, so interesting to see Candy Panda and Nif pushing this lane up. They do have a sizable lane advantage for now. That will mean that there's a little bit of leeway for Nif to go out and ward Tribrush, making bottom lane for SK a little bit safer for now. Now, the Destroyer, aka Svenskeren, went for a little bit of a wolf counter jungle. Now, looking back towards his own jungle, Trinket Ward will scout him out.
Yeah, he's just going to be safe to go back and get a little bit of farm done. He's got the health right now to make a kind of slow jungle clear and still be healthy enough to come out the other side and go for a gank. So he may look to go for bottom lane in the long term, or look to circle around. He knows that they will pay, does not have any more wards, and go for that gank on the mid lane. But looks like he's going to go for golems. Looks like he's going to be there when Shen pushes up and then looks to go back. That could mean that Renekton may end up getting a kill. It's a very kind of iffy plan, though, because it's you'd have to predict a long way in advance to get it to work.
So X, the Destroyer X, which is actually Svenskeren, in case you guys were wondering. That is Svenskeren. He's a camp ahead, a couple of camps actually, ahead of Demonke.
Extremely high level 12-year-old naming there for his Smurf. I assume it was ironic, but it doesn't really matter either way, because names are such a minor part of everything that we do right now. And I'd actually like to note that thus far the kind of point to picking the fiddlesticks in that bottom lane that I was noting in Champion Select, that being that you prevent yourself getting pushed back against your tower and forced to stay there by Caitlyn, doesn't seem to have worked out for them too well. Haven't been able to abuse that well. At the moment, though, we are apparently having some minor reports of lag. Rapid, have you answered your phone?
Yes, well, not actually, but now that that's taken care of, we're on to the more important things like commentating pause timings and cool things like that. Apparently, the lag has subsided there for the Reds, so they're going to be able to get back into this. And if you check out the way that the lanes have worked out, bottom lane is actually a little bit more even than I expected. I kind of thought the level 2, level 3 all in from SK's bottom lane would have been too much for the Red to handle, but Nixar and Demonko did a really good job at avoiding that all in, and now it's going to be about the junglers as Svenskeren finds out Demonko in the jungle. Ward there placed by Vi, and now Svenskeren pushing Vi out of his own jungle. They're gonna go follow the leader up towards the top lane.
Yeah, well, it's a very obvious gank target for Vi, but that does mean they're going to have to contend with how strong Renekton and Lee Sin are now.
Going into the P, Svenskeren immediately lands the QR or QE. Now it's going to be Demonko forced back to his own turret. Freddy and Svenskeren now looking for the dive onto Freeze. Just auto-attacking the turret. I'm not sure exactly what they're trying to accomplish other than now two-man farming between the turret. Like, Freddy got a little lonely top lane, so he's like, hey, you want to come farm between the turrets with me? It looks like that's working out pretty well for SK as Free's just going to try to keep that wave off of his own turret. That means that it's just straight up counter jungling it. Not content to just take the lane minions, now Freddy and Svenskeren invade the jungle as well.
And this is a great way of abusing how much stronger Renekton is than Shen at this stage of the game. Because he is better in a one-on-one at this stage of the game, but he was also much stronger in that 2-on-2 situation there. If it had Dominus, that would have been disastrous to try and fight 2-on-2 for the Red there. That being said, he is now going to have to go back, and it does seem like Fiery's is getting to a point where he's tanky enough to just farm a minion lane in front of his tower while Freddy farms behind. But he will fall behind the longer that goes on. He will lose just a couple here and there to the tower.
I mean, he's not actually doing that bad at CSing, and so what this means is that whenever a champion, whether it's Singe, Renekton, anybody tries to go for farming behind your turret, they're essentially giving you perfect CS as well, as long as you can take up the wave. So that means that Freddy's going to have absolutely massive CS numbers, but the same thing for Freeze. So Shen, Renekton, they're both going to be very big in these upcoming team fights. Renekton does, traditionally a lot more damage. It's going to be up to Shen to see if he can make his presence felt elsewhere around the map, and less so the other lanes. Everybody else around the map has to actually fight somebody. Top lane, it's just, killing minions. And now it's actually Freddy. Let the wave reset down towards the middle of the lane. We'll return back into lane, so not going for any more dirty farming just yet.
Yeah, he's just going to be scary at the moment. I don't think Fiery can really take him out at the moment. He's doing quite a bit of damage, though, and over time, he may be able to force Dominus.
Dominus goes down just to establish a little bit of lane control there versus Freeze. Pushing that lane back into the turret. Dominus, it's a relatively short cooldown. I think it's about 100 seconds at level 1, and I don't think Freeze is really getting... He doesn't have any kill potential on Renekton for sure, so doesn't really need that Dominus just yet. Freddy just gonna walk through the turret once again, looking for some more farm.
Yeah, there is actually an issue right now, though. He is in position potentially to support Svenskeren, who is just going to be running away. But Freddy can't stay behind the tower if he doesn't know where Orianna is at that point in time. Meanwhile, though, kind of taking stock of the rest of the map, focusing quite a lot on the top lane. But at the moment, it seems to me that SK is just taking quite a few advantages in lanes across the map. Not massive advantages, but stuff like seeing Nidalee out farming Orianna mid lane, that's a worrying sign there for the Red.
Yeah, Orianna is just a champion you can farm so well on, and you can get up to crazy CS numbers. And if you want to look at the lane, instead of looking at it as lanes, you can look at it as quarters. And SK pretty much control 3/4 of the map, including that upper jungle for the Red. Svenskeren and Freddy both have just completely made that their own. Oh, nice taunt lair, Shadow Dash onto Svenskeren, take it down very, very low. Now they're going to go for the dive. Immediately, Ignite goes down, Safeguard out. Svenskeren pick up the kill. Dragon Slave. Now bottom lane, we're going to see, double auto attacks there from Dixar's passive. Now jumping onto Candy Panda, half health, jumping away. already very low from Demonko, but with the kill picked up, the culling over the wall almost takes out Candy Panda. He will live with a health potion ticking and about 150 health.
He has actually just shown himself on that trinket ward though, and Lucian is a very scary thing, but Ace in the hole does actually not hit there. That was alarming there, I think, for Fiddlesticks.
Be still my beating heart. Demonko, I'm pretty sure he's like, oh, wait, I'm still alive? All right, cool. So Demonko stays alive there in the bottom lane. I think he has a grand total of 85 hit points. Apparently there's another little bit of server lag, so we're going to pause until that subsides. But yeah, bottom lane, very, very lucky there for Demonko, and somewhat unfortunate as Nif did get taken out. That's going to even the score at 1-1, but still, you can see the CS advantage definitely there in the hands of Candy Panda, about 10 up, and then pretty much the same situation for Jacees in the mid lane. Top lane, it's a little bit more volatile because while the junglers are even on CS, Freddy's been behind between absolutely everywhere on those turrets, and it's not just about the CS difference because I think at least 3 or 4 of those CS on Freddy have been the white and then the wolf camps from the jungle, so those are obviously worth a little bit more gold, which is where he's going to get his about 600-700 gold lead over TheRED.
Yeah, and that 500-600 gold lead there is going to be quite a significant difference at this stage. That's about the margin that Renekton really wants to be seeing. And interesting point here, he is going for his Spirit Visage first and not the Sunfire Cape, so he's clearly not feeling quite as threatened. It doesn't feel like he needs to itemize for more damage at this point in time. He's just going to be able to rely on bullying Shen out and then pushing out the lane rather than simply pushing out the lane faster by default. Shen, on the other hand, going for the Sunfire Cape, which is pretty much the standard build here, and I wouldn't be surprised to see Renekton pick up a Sunfire Cape once he's got his Spirit Visage done, but it's just a small, order of the items kind of thing, showing the confidence of Renekton here.
Well, yeah, and really, Renekton's going up against, I think, 3 sources of magic damage and only 2 sources of physical damage. Probably won't have to fight Nixar for a long time, and then Demonke might come up there, but probably won't anytime soon. So he really only has to deal with Shen's magic damage, and plus, the way that Sustain works in Season 4 is just absolutely ridiculous. With Perseverance and Second Wind, in the defense tree for masteries, that combined with the Spirit Visage, you're just going to be regenerating so much HP that it's going to be really difficult to push out the lane.
Yeah, and it's actually even stronger if you get the Spirit Visage because it will amplify the health regen when you're getting low. However, Lee Sin is in the bottom lane, has been spotted out, but they will pay. Could have potentially been sandwiched there if she'd gone any further downwards, but it looks like everyone's just going to cancel each other out. Vi is hanging around and could go for a lane gank, but unlikely to want to do so. They do know where Svenskeren is, and he's not going to be able to get that gank in the mid down.
Yeah, Svenskeren, no gank for him at mid. Dominus was popped top lane for Freddy, just once again using it to clear out the wave and establish a little bit more lane dominance. A couple waves of minions pushed into TheRED's turret. That will be the first turret of the game going down. SK securing, finally, that first turret advantage. Now, Svenskeren, he's just back in the jungle jungling. Freddy is so strong right now that he doesn't really face a whole lot of kill potential from TheRED. And to be honest, I don't think there's any 2 players on the red that could take Freddy down right now. So he has made that top half of the map his own. Now it's up to the rest of SK to secure the bottom half. That's exactly what they're doing, taking down the first dragon of the game.
That's actually TheRED taking the dragon, though. SK have made a minor error in terms of their lane rotation, and it is being abused mercilessly. Sending Caitlyn back, she'd stayed in for quite a long time on low health, trying to sustain up, but wasn't ever quite able to get herself going. And having Renekton still committed in the top lane, but he is going for the dive on Fieries.
No, nice Shadow Dash away will keep TheRED alive for just a little bit longer. He's pretty tanky there, and I'm pretty sure I said SK were taking the dragon earlier too, so I definitely meant TheRED. They're being what they are, but nice way to capitalize on the extra pressure top lane. SK kind of out of position for that, so evening up the gold count, there's about a 500 gold difference between these 2 teams, so a lot less than I'd expect. Shadow Dash under the turret will taunt up Freddy. Gonna take some extra turret shots. Bottom lane is gonna be Tibbers dropped onto Demonko. He is out of there. Nixar will use that relentless pursuit to, well, actually hasn't used that, so there's Ace in the hole. Nixar will block that out for Demonko once again, and mid lane, a little bit of damage on to Svenskeren, but overall, a lot of aggression top and bottom, but nobody dying just yet.
Yeah, I think most of the goal difference between the two teams at the moment is actually focused on Renekton. Keep harping on about the lane, but Renekton is definitely an important factor in this, because as long as he can stay ahead of Shen, he will apply a lot of map pressure, and Shen won't be able to abuse Stand United to the max, as it were. However, eventually, assuming this game goes on for quite a long time, or if Shen is able to get, you know, a leg up from a kill or two somewhere, he will actually be able to out-trade Renekton. If that happens, he can push Renekton back continually, and Renekton will be very, very slow to react to any map pressure. However, they will pay now. Going to be fighting over this blue buff.
Yeah, the blue buff is probably very, very solidly going to Svenskr, and he's going to take that away. Freddy's right there. It's the buddy system between Freddy and Svenskr. It's nice to see those two guys getting along, and they've kind of been tag teaming that top half of the map for a really long time. You can see this nice crescent of wards placed in the upper jungle there by SK. Demonke, I'm not sure what he's going to do up there, because it's lit up like a Christmas tree, and with Svenskr and Freddy finally going back, they're going to give that top half of the map back to the Red, say, hey, we're done with this, you can have it. There's really nothing left to have up there.
Yeah, but their wards will remain, so they can go back there if they want. Jez is actually going quite aggressive in this mid lane here. Not going to be able to really get anything done, but he is actually at the moment seriously grinding Orianna down, pushing her out of lane in a one-on-one. Honestly, normally I would expect that matchup to go in the favor of Orianna, especially early on, but it seems like thus far they will pay. Oh boy, there was a fight. Blah, I'm dumb. Oh well, seems like they will pay. Was not able to really apply that early pushing pressure that Nidalee is so weak to.
Yeah, Nidalee, especially just sees landing a couple of huge spears on They Will Pay, pushed him out of lane, and now it's actually Demonke who has to come back into lane and hold that out. Turret will fall, though, even through the Vi ultimate. Hipster just sees, doesn't even carry. Actually traded effectively against Demonke, and now pause comes out from Demonko, and that will mean a little bit of extra time to kind of take stock of the situation. 3 turrets, all outer turrets taken down for SK, and while Furiz has actually done a good job pushing back against Freddy 1-2-2 up in the top lane, bottom lane, Candy Panda and Nif are onto the second tier turret down there.
Yeah, and the inner turret in the top lane is also down to about half health. SK, although they aren't taking massive gold advantages on any of their single players, they are pushing back. They are slowly taking small advantages, and with this map control that they're getting here, you can see how many wards they have in the bottom jungle, for instance, and how relatively easy it is for them to get more wards in the upper jungle. If that mid tower falls too early, it's going to start being very, very difficult for the Red to predict the movements of the rest of the team of SK, and if that situation arises, their ability to get picks with Vi, their ability to abuse Shen Stand United will be severely diminished. They just will not be able to get themselves in the right position at the right time as a result.
Now, positioning, like you talked about, is going to be it's going to be something that SK probably have a little bit more work to do. Like we mentioned, the first dragon that the Red got was just due to SK not being around, not really valuing that objective too much. And to be honest, I mean, they've been able to pick up 3 turrets so far, so their objective control in turrets is great, and you know, turrets don't respawn, dragons do, so they might go for picking up more of those later on. But really the pressure is on to the Red. They've lost their outer ring of turrets, and that just means that if SK had an easy time going through their upper jungle, now there's not a lot of extra security outside the base for the Red. Game will unpause, and now we'll actually see if Jaciz is in a little bit of trouble. Command Shockwave will hit only Svenskr, and Demonke will flash out. Now it's Svenskr getting away. So Jaciz stays alive for now. Doesn't quite have that Athene's Unholy Grail, but will as soon as he decides to head on back to base.
Really, really confident play there by Jaciz, though. You notice he has Flash and Barrier available. Didn't pop either of them. Very, very sure he could escape. However, Svenskr may find Demonke. He's going to be able to do that, and I really hope I'm not butchering that name. I wouldn't know.
Cleanse forced out by Candy Panda in the bottom lane as a nice fear from Demonko was able to, I don't know, make him a little bit too scared right as...
Did you see that mid lane? I apologize, Rapid.
No, I'm watching the health bars, and every time I hear like a little ping, I'm like, oh, better check mid lane, because Jaciz has probably landed another spear. And to be honest, he's been doing a great job landing them on They Will Pay, because when you're Nidalee, if you can't land spears, it doesn't matter how much, you know, ability power you have, because you're just not dealing any damage. So it kind of puts the burden on whoever you're laning against. If you get hit by spears, Nidalee wins the lane. If you don't, then it's actually a lot more favorable for you. So Ignite actually going down simultaneous flashes away from both Freddy and Faris, as Faris doesn't want to get dove, but at the same time, Freddy a little bit worried about Demonk coming back in there. I'm just gonna call him Dima. I think that'll do, because there's Vi and Fiddlesticks, both of whom have relatively similarly pronounced names. I'm not too great with the Cyrillic alphabet, so I don't think I'll be doing a great job pronouncing those, but I'll leave the pronunciation up to Spuddington. I feel like I'm in capable hands.
Implying I can pronounce the Cyrillic alphabet, but Crowstorm and bot lane.
Yeah, it's gonna go in. There's gonna be a very low health Nif. He's gonna get taken down. The culling comes out onto Candy Panda, takes him down to half hit points. Now we're actually going to see if... Oh, there we go. Whew, a little bit worried. Nexar will block that one out, but as soon as I hear those pings go down, it means another spear is landed from Disease. He will throw another one out. Oh, they will pay. Narrowly dodging that out. Now pushed back to his own turret.
And they will pay, swearing vengeance upon his opponent. No, okay, Demalke could be in trouble.
Yeah, it's Channel Ultimate, though. Stand United right on top of Vi. Immediately, the Dragon's Rage kick backwards there from Svenskeren, and Spears continuing to land there from Hipster Jessees, who not only completes his Athene's Unholy Grail, but grabs a needlessly large rod on top of that. Bottom lane, a second tier turret has one more auto attack left on it. If Candy Panda just wants to, like, this is where you pick Ghost as an AD carry and you just run straight at the turret, auto attack, and run away, but I don't think we're going to see that anytime soon. We'll just leave it alive just for now, backing off for the second dragon of the game, which should, by all rights here, go to SK.
Yeah, there is no Stand United available, and Renekton is going to try and abuse this time to push out that top lane, and it does seem like they're a bit far away to be contesting. Vi is going to go for it.
And there's going to be flash over the wall, but it is Svenskeren to take that one down. Command Shockwave, great combo by Oriana and Vi, but in the end, Candy Panda's in a little bit of trouble. No, it's actually Vi who's taken down very low. Candy Panda will have to back on off for it now. There's a flash forced out as Jessees will piece the scene towards the bottom lane. Oh, the Sultan Battery not able to, or the Vault Breaker not able to hit onto Candy Panda. He's going to take down one, take down two, a double kill for Candy. And now they're forcing the flash there. Demarco will flash over the wall. Now Faris hits into a Caitlyn trap. There's ace in the hole, lands onto Nixar. Triple kill for Candy Panda. Can he grab the Quadra? One more auto attack, and it is going to be the Quadra kill for Candy Panda. Completely cleaning out the red dragon team fight. SK can do it all.
Can he get Demonco though? There could be a fifth here.
Oh, okay. Oh my. Scumbag Freddy takes the Penta from Candy Panda. I think if you get a Quadra, there's a 30-second time window in which if you secure the ace, you still get the Penta kill. But, you know, Freddy was protecting Candy Panda, making sure he wasn't in any danger.
Didn't want to get him overconfident or anything. However, they will take that bottom tower. They got the dragon, and it was looking really, really bad. A really good shockwave combo there by the red, but they just were not able to follow it up very well. They essentially got, well, pretty much straight up outplayed on multiple fronts. Nif now is going to be getting chased down, but flashing out. Candy Panda, well, he might get away, but it's going to be a long chase, I feel.
Alright, well, he's very, very low on mana. Only has 50 mana, and 90 caliber net costs 75. So he will have that mana back up in just a couple of seconds. Gets knocked up there by the Vault Breaker. Down behind the turret, there's the net. Will this be enough to save Candy Panda's life? He's going to get some help from his Jessees. That will push Vi back away. Now the red, very strong presence down there in the bottom lane. But there's actually Svenskeren going in, gets the kick backwards onto Vi. Get some damage down from the culling to come out from Nixar, but doesn't actually hit all that much. There's going to be Crowstorm over the wall. Fear there onto Svenskeren. Assault, battery, kill coming out. Vi taking down Svenskeren. Only the 4th kill of the game there for the red, but still pushing SK back away. A spear to land. Jesse says his blood in the water. Can he land another one? A Vault Breaker gets Demonke back to the safety of his minion line. Jesse's no kill for him just yet. Still a lot of pressure returned in the bottom lane for SK.
Yeah, it's just a very, very back and forth game at the moment, and that's what favors SK's composition. They've got a lot of stuns, and Nidalee plays very well in this situation.
They will pay. Pays for his overextension will go down there, and now it's Hipster Jesse's, Nif, and Mr. Tibbers all pushing down that bottom lane. No turrets for a while for them down there as That is the first lane to lose both turrets. It's 4-0. Perfect turret score there for SK. Now they're looking to take the top turret as well. Freddy should be able to take that one down.
Hop hop, Mr. T. Does seem like we are going to be getting Hipster going down for the mid lane and tanking that as well. And SK have really built up an objective advantage. And that is what is so strong about picking a really strong sieging and fast pushing composition. You can see even though the fights haven't really been going, I mean they've been going their way mildly, but they've been able to take so many more objectives off of them than their opponents.
Demonco down to half health off of just an ace in the hole. So all it's going to take is one more spear coming out from Hipster. Just sees he's waiting around the wall. Spear almost hits onto Vi. Can't quite find that just yet. Lanes pushing in. SK going for the siege, should just be able to pretty effortlessly. Command Shockwave hits 3. There's actually Freddy diving in all over. They will pay. Dan United's going to keep him alive. Oriana just dishing out damage with the auto attack. Is Freddy going to go down there? It is Ignite. The calling. Will it be enough to take Freddy down? Freddy dies, but it's Demonco going down as well. Svensker is going in, flashes. Flashes out immediately, doesn't want that. That's what happens when you double tap Q a little bit too quickly. Now it's actually Freeze returning there. Gets the Shadow Dash. Dipster just sees there's Assault. Battery damage from Nixstar, able to take him out with the Light Slinger passive. And now it's Svensker going back in. Safeguards back away. Just floating like a butterfly and stinging like a blind monk, I suppose it will. And TheRED actually successfully defend their base. Don't successfully defend their inhibitor though, and that is the first inhib of the game. 7 turret advantage for SK.
Yeah, they are, as has been mentioned before, even though these fights seem relatively equal, even though in a straight up 5-on-5, SK's composition is only really good on the retreat, because they are so good on the retreat and because TheRED have not found opportunities to split push and take objectives off of that, they are just falling further and further behind right now, and that is not a good thing for them. They now have to contend with the massive map pressure and the fact that there is a very safe Baron clear from SK. They can do Baron, essentially, and force TheRED out of their base to stop them and take no real lasting damage because they have very sustained characters to do it.
But at the same time, some of the changes in Season 4 are going to kick in here for TheRED. Having an inhibitor down now only affects that single lane that the inhibitor is down in, so the side lanes won't push automatically by themselves like they used to in Season 3. For TheRED, that means that, I guess they pretty much only have to defend that middle lane for now, but with all the map control that SK have, it's just going to be a free Baron if they want it, but it does look like they're just going to push things out first with SK Candy Panda all the way down in the bottom lane.
Yeah, the best thing if you want to apply map pressure and force the enemies into that situation where they're in a lose-lose is actually potentially to catch someone out in mid.
And there's going to be Mr. Tibbers going down there onto Demonco. There's the Vi coming over the wall right onto Jesse's. They will pay, hasn't paid just yet. There is Renekton, the Toll Collector, trying to take it down. Ignite goes down. Oriana, one last auto attack, and it's Freddy to pick up the first kill of that fight. Spirit lands onto Freeze, actually takes him pretty low. And after all of that initiation, it's only Oriana that goes down. And surprised to see SK pushing down the lane that already has the inhibitor down. Should look to see them disengage, possibly to try to catch out onto Vi, who is going to make it out alive for now. Ace in the hole is not up, so gonna go into Tri-Brush. Candy Panda, can you find him out? Just sees, walks into the brush, finds the monkey, able to take him out.
Very nicely done indeed, and it was an unfortunate fact where Vi was left with the choice of trying to execute herself, which she most likely would have been able to do, or potentially sneaking out. But if she did die in that situation, executing herself, and SK's team had actually moved away, it potentially opened them up for an objective. So understandable she would try and sneak out, but wasn't able to get it, and now looks like they're going to be trying for They Will Pay.
Ooh, yeah, They Will Pay in bottom lane, forced away, but does have some friends there in the form of Nixstar and Demonco. So for the time being, TheRED able to defend their base relatively well, but will have to deal with a super minion wave now pushing in. Oh my, crit from Candy Panda. They Will Pay is gonna have to go back to base for now, and that means that SK pushing in on their second base turret of the game.
Yeah, they are actually taking the tower down very quickly, and Renekton is drawing a lot of aggression here. They're gonna go for the insect.
Oh, the fear immediately back there onto Svensker. The Gen ultimate command shockwave right onto Candy Panda. Cleanse flash away. Candy's gonna stay alive for now. Will Ignite take him down? I don't know. Probably should keep him alive. Demaco in there with Crow Storm, a lot of damage dished out. Nixar able to deal a lot in return, but Freddy is just too tanky right now. He's taking up the entire team. Demaco will fall, Vi's down. Nixar forced the DPS from the base. There's the culling on to Freddy. Probably won't be able to take him down just yet, and sustaining through 2 Nexus turrets, he will stay alive. Backing on out, there's going to be Shadow Dash Safeguard in. Freddy stays alive, and Spencer's got his back. Bidden Hip does respawn, looking to take it down for the second time. Nixar very low, getting ignited, but should be able to stay alive. No spear to land, therefore it just sees. And overall, I like the defense of the base, but at the same time, SK one more inhibitor down. Now it's only that top lane left for them to take, but very low hit points. SK will back on off for now.
And actually an interesting thing that has appeared in chat for me, Vi actually saying GG, but no surrender vote called. So it feels like the Red are a long, long way behind, and maybe they are, but it does seem like they haven't quite given up yet. They are in a bad situation, though. I don't think there's any way of denying that. Demonco knows what SK is very likely to go for next, has warded. There's actually a little bit of a deception going on here. He's put one ward, which he knows is in range of that pink. He's going to put another one down, which he is guessing they will not check out.
I believe in that last fight, I thought that the fear went on to Candy Panda when he flashed away, but I'm thinking that I actually went back and watched it. There was actually no flash engaged there by Freddy right onto They Will Pay. He's trying to burst him down, but hasn't quite got the damage to do that. Very, very tanky though. And then Shockwave though, Mr. Tibbers down, and it's the Sonic Wave from the Destroyer, Spencer, to take out They Will Pay. Spear over the wall, not enough damage to kill off Freeze. Like, oh, the flash kick, or the kick, and then the flash to send Nixar back into the team. Barrier's not going to be enough to keep him alive. One more spear there, and it is a double kill for just he's deep underneath those turrets. And now with the killing blow coming in from SK Gaming, they will take down the turrets, take the Nexus, and take game number 1 in this best of 5 semi-final match versus the Red.
Really, really convincing performance by SK, and I have to say, partly this was off of their composition, partly it was the fact that the Red never really seemed to be able to actually get picks. They never seemed to be able to close out their kills. And I think the classic example of that, and kind of where they lost control of the game, was one of those early dragon fights. They started off so beautifully well with a really well layered couple of ultimates, but they just weren't able to finish anyone off, and you left with SK on like 20% health, but just able to juggle the damage well enough and pick up quite a few kills and then have a Penta stolen. Regardless though, guys, we will be just going into a quick break while we get the next game set up, getting people into the lobby. So, ladies and gentlemen, we will be right back.